Danny Warren, almost a year on from starting this Sunrisers journey. How have you found it?
It's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? But it's been brilliant all the way. Like, you just have to stand here with the sun shining through the roof here at the Tenton Merchant Taylors to realise how far the game is progressing and how much we've done in the last almost 12 months. To think we had no logo in May last year, and now all of a sudden we've got a group of players, we've got a culture that's developing, and we've got skills that are progressing every day. It's absolutely brilliant.
You're absolutely right. You have achieved so much. I mean, in a relatively short space of time. I guess one of the most important things you've done is put together a backroom staff. Every time I turn up, I seem to find new faces. Do you want to talk us through who you've got on board now?
Yeah, well, we've been to get some more kit for people at some point soon because we're running out of the stock. So, yeah, well, I suppose importantly for us, me and Trevor sat down and we knew we needed to try and make sure there was a really good experience base behind what he was doing with the girls. So from a cricket perspective, we've brought in Mark Lane, who needs no introduction in the world of women's cricket, and Carl Greenwich to work with Trevor. They've brought some really great experiences from different aspects, but also the professional game, because these girls need some help learning how to be professionals, as well as going through spin with Laney, seam with Carl. So they've come in from a cricket perspective. We've also been able to put in place our talent managers in Luke and Kane, who, despite having responsibilities lower down the pathway, we've involved them with work with the senior group. So we're trying to do what we can to just get as many hands on deck allowed within the COVID environment. Outside of that, from a sports science and medicine perspective, we've got full-time physio in Leah. We've got Tom, who led our S&C last year. He's on board with us almost full-time now. And we're starting to build around that with Kieran as our analyst, and Kate Green has come in as our sports psych lead. So we're rolling off the names. The team meetings are getting bigger, and the workload I've got is getting slightly smaller because everyone else is expert in areas.
Danny, sounds like you've got quite the team on board there. So I guess most of those team meetings you're having have been on Zoom. You've been very fortunate, I guess, to be able to carry on training. You're here at Merchant Taylors. You're out on the grass wickets already, and the season doesn't start for another 2 months, I think, for Sunrisers. Will that put you a step ahead of everybody else?
I don't suppose we looked at it as about a step ahead. Look, we're incredibly fortunate. The support we've had from all the counties in our region over the winter in terms of finding the space within a very limited resource to get cricket in for our girls has been absolutely amazing. And to be able to access here, we've been coming in 3 times a week for the last 3 weeks. And you could just, like the first time I walked in, you smelt grass and you felt like it was the cricket season. So for these girls to be able to almost call this home for a month, to be running in, you can see them behind us, actually getting some really good cricket into their legs is absolutely fantastic. So it's not about getting ahead, it's about just making sure these girls get the right support to develop their skills and be ready to play for our competition at the end of May, but also in any other cricket they've got before then.
Great stuff. We've spoken, Danny, about the learnings that we took out of last year. How hard's it been? I think one of the things you mentioned last year was about building that squad. Everybody was new, everybody was getting to know each other. How hard's it been in lockdown to really evolve that from last year?
Yeah, you make a really good point actually, Fletch, in that the girls at the beginning of this year, so when the third lockdown happened, they were doing a lot in isolation. It was all one-to-one sessions, and it did feel a bit like we'd gone backwards in the work we'd started to do as creating a group culture. That slowly built with us being able to get to the point where we've got 9 girls training here today, and that's really helped them being able to have that, I suppose, banter with their teammates and be able to feel like they're part of something. But we've done a lot of work away from here as well. The last couple of months have seen us on video calls, opening up about ourselves. We've done some stuff about our culture, about words and phrases that drive us, but also things that don't add to the environment and take away from the environment. So the girls have all bought into that along with the staff. And we're doing some stuff where we're sharing our deepest, darkest secrets as a group as well, just to get to know each other in any way we can. So it's not been easy, but I feel like we've adapted really, really well.
It's so important, Dan, you're absolutely right. You've got 5 pros on the books now. How have they adapted to life as professional cricketers? Because I guess life for them is so much different now.
Yeah, well, it must be, and I'll be honest, every time I speak to them, they tell me they're loving it, so I'm going to take that as gospel. It's been just so lovely to watch them grow. I've known all of them for a while in some way, shape or form, but to see them become cricketers and not just the people that you knew has been absolutely amazing. And their skills have improved. The support we've been able to give them off the field, especially around the physical side of things, and now bringing the psych side in, has really made a difference. And I'm so excited for them to be able to put that into practice in the summer.
You talked about the team you've built up. There's obviously further work going on into that. Off the field, you've launched an initiative to encourage female coaches to join a workforce development program. Can you expand upon that, and how's that process gone?
Yeah, it's gone really, really well. We've probably got a few more days left of the expression of interest period, and we've had about a dozen females across the region with varying different backgrounds come to us with their interests. So the driver behind it for me was to expose females who are ambitious around the coaching to environments they may not have had an opportunity to. Like we talk about producing homegrown players. We want to produce homegrown talents that contributes off the field as well, and that's with the coaches. We're working with the University of East London to come up with a way of actually doing the same around the support staff and the medical side of things as well. So we really want to make sure this is a Sunrisers region coming on this journey with us, and not us putting a team out there to play.
Brilliant. And aside of that, as if you didn't have enough on your plate, you've also joined a women's sporting elite partnership, which I think sees you join up with 4 other sports clubs: West Ham United Women, London Pulse Netball, London Lions and Essex Rebels from basketball. What are the hopes and ambitions for that partnership?
Yeah, well, we launched it on International Women's Day, which is a very fitting day to start to really talk about the progress in elite women's sport, and it's already started to get great feedback, but also get legs in terms of the support we can give each other. We want to work together from a player development side. We want to share our expertise. We want our practitioners and our coaches to be able to lean on each other, share resource, make sure we all get the best that we can for our players. But aside from that, we also want to attract more people to watch women's elite sport, whether it's cricket, football, netball, basketball, or any other sports that may join along the journey. If we can get more people watching the game, look, we all want to leave the house, don't we? So when it opens up, let's get more people watching in the summer, our sports, our partners' sports, then we can really showcase how far the games have come and how far these incredible athletes have progressed themselves over the last few years.
Absolutely. Danni, 2 months out from the season, a lot of work going on here, a lot of work going on behind the scenes evidently. What shape are the squad in, and what are your hopes for the season in the 2 competitions we'll be playing in?
Yeah, well, I think the squad are in great shape. I speak to Trevor regularly and he's really happy with how they're progressing, not just technically but tactically, in their understanding of how to apply it in a match situation. And that's probably where we fell down last year. We had periods in games where we did dominate, but then we had big periods where we let the opposition dominate us. So we're really, really optimistic about the summer. We knew last year we had a good squad. We just lacked experience and we lacked exposure at that level. Now we've got an even better squad, and they've had that experience and exposure in some way, and we've helped to support them over the winter to give them a little bit more. So we're really, really optimistic. Well, first up, the 50 over Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy. That's going to be a really nice occasion to walk back out to Chelmsford, where we left off last year, and show people how far we have come before we go into T20, which again, you sometimes never know what goes on. So we're optimistic and we're ambitious.
Danni, sounds good. You're in good shape. Look, it sounds to me like you're in no danger whatsoever of taking your foot off the pedal. You've done a huge amount of great work already, and I guess there's plenty more to come. Thanks for your time, Dan. All the very best of luck to the girls going into this coming season.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Rich.